The skill I'll be going over today, Super Mad Dance, which was requested by Caleb Brock 5201. Now, normally when I see a comment like this that requests two skills at once, I'll just cover the first one, but when I remember that Super Mad Dance is similar to the Ginyu combo in the sense that you need to tilt the analog stick in the right direction dependent on the camera angle, I just wanted to get this one done and over with and out of my life. So congrats, Mr. Brock, I've made an exception. Now, on with the show. Super Mad Dance is a strike super that you can purchase pretty early on in the game from the skill shop for 4,500 Zenny. The description reads, launch a powerful strike combo that blows opponents back. Use the left stick during the input to change the pattern. Now, these left stick inputs tend to be tricky, and there's actually something that this description leaves out entirely in regards to this move, so let me fill in those gaps. Super Mad Dance has a total of 5 different variations that I could find, all of which only cost 1 bar of ki. The first 4 that I'm going to cover are only available while your character is in their base form. The first pattern I'll go over here is the one that does not require any directional input. This one is super simple. You press the button and you'll kick your opponent around like you're a one-man soccer team. This is probably the worst pattern as there isn't anything special that you can do out of it. The following patterns will require that you pay close attention to the camera in order to get the one you want, as the direction you need to tilt the left analog stick depends on what angle the camera is looking at you from. So now I'll go over the 2 variations that end in a knockdown attack. This first knockdown pattern requires you to tilt the analog stick directly towards your opponent from the camera's point of view. So in this example that I'm about to show, I tilted the left stick forward and then a little to the right. If the camera were looking at my character from his other side, I would tilt forward and a little to the left instead. Either way, you will start by kicking your opponent away from you twice, and then doing a sledgehammer to knock them down towards the ground. The nice thing about this pattern is that if you are close enough to the ground, you can actually continue your basic combos. Alternatively, you can also follow up with a super attack, but again, you have to be close enough to the ground. The second knockdown pattern requires you to tilt the analog stick directly away from your opponent from the camera's point of view. So in this example, I tilted the left stick backward and a little to the left. If the camera were looking at my character from his other side, then I would want to tilt backward and a little to the right instead. This pattern will start off with a kick sending your opponent upward, then kicking them away, then finishing up with a sledgehammer. I find this one to be a little bit worse than the previous, as it sends your opponent upward, and when using this pattern, you want to have your opponent as close to the ground as possible to ensure that you can keep your combo going. And depending on how high up you are, this pattern may prevent that from happening. The fourth pattern will ultimately result with your opponent being sent upward. In this example, from this camera angle, you can achieve this result by either tilting the analog stick forward and a little to the left, or backward and a little to the right. And then of course, vice versa if the camera is looking at you from the other way. Either way, you will get the same pattern where you will first kick your opponent away, then do a sledgehammer downward, then finish with an upward kick. If you're at the top of the map when you use this pattern, then you can continue your basic combos. It is also possible to combo into Soaring Fist if you're approaching it from the right angle. So now we're on the last pattern for this skill. You can only use this variant while you're in an Awoken skill that does not change your moveset. This version is way simpler than its previous, as there are no directional inputs you can use to switch things up. It's the same every time. You'll kick them away 3 times, then do a sledgehammer downward, and finish with a kick sending them upward. You basically act like a bad boy from Tennessee as you kick their ass from tree to tree. But unfortunately, there is no continuing your combos off of this one, nor is there any true comboing into any super attacks. Now, when it comes to landing this move, you're going to want to use it in the middle of your basic attack combos. If you're closer to the bottom of the map, you're going to want to shoot for one of the knockdown patterns. And if you're closer to the top of the map, you'll want to aim for the upward kick pattern, as these will give you the best chances to keep a combo going, or to get your opponent to use up some stamina. And just for point of reference, I test all these skills on a type of male Saiyan hybrid between strikes and ki blasts, with no super soul, so the damage seen in these videos can definitely be taken to greater heights. Alright, so that takes care of that. That's Super Mad Dance explained about as well as possible. Now, there are hundreds, literally hundreds of skills in this game, and I'm trying to cover them all for you guys. But the odds of me knowing every last detail for every last skill is just a little unlikely. So if there are any details about this skill that I may have missed, let us all know down in the comments. Also, every skill so far has been tested on version 1.36 of the game, so if any future updates change how this skill works, also be sure to let us know. I certainly would appreciate it. But with all that being said, I think that's about my cue to bounce. I hope you found what you were looking for in this video, and until we meet again, make sure you take care. See ya!